This is a YouTube comment. This is on a video we did a long time ago, which is my dog won't stop going potty in the house at night.
Okay.
Tyler Tryon asks, my dog is 5 and goes through phases where he will be really good for like a month and then poop or pee in the house every day for a month. He only pees and poops in the house when he knows we are gone. He will not do it when we are outside, but if we drive away even a few minutes, he will do his business. He never does this when we are home. He will go anywhere. He will poop in his yard. Yes, we have spoken with the vet about the right size crate. He will poop in the bedroom. He has even peed on our bed.
Ooh.
It's rough.
Yeah, that's
Whenever
rough.
he goes outside and we are home, we reward him with a treat. He knows where he is supposed to go and even knows the command, go potty. When he was 2, we figured he had separation anxiety, so we got another dog. They're actually half brothers. The younger dog was potty trained literally within a couple of days and never has had an issue ever. The doggy door is always available to them as we never lock it. We have done a lot of positive reinforcement training and gotten advice from a lot of trainers that all seem to say the same things, but none of it works. Have any unique takes on this situation?
I think this is the first time we've talked about doggy doors, so...
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Potty training when you're not home is such a tricky one, you know? Because behavioral issues in general, when you're not home, there's only so much you can do about it.
Yeah.
Right? And what I find is that the difference between the dogs that do really well with this and the dogs that don't do really well with this is how quickly we rush into the process, right? So, for example, one thing I've always told everybody, the rule we kind of follow, is dogs should be crated at nighttime until they're about a year old, and when you're not home until the dog is about 2 years old. Now, this is not a hard rule, right? I personally still crate my dogs when I'm not home for the sake of not needing to worry about what they're getting into, not needing to worry about what they're doing, right? And because there's multiple of them, not worrying about their interactions when I'm not home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the idea behind that rule of 2 years is that 2 years, typically speaking, is enough time where if you're training your dog from a puppy through then, in 2 years, with supervised time in the house, you should be able to establish all of the rules, and the dog should know what's expected and what's not expected of them.
Yeah.
Right? From a potty training standpoint, from a behavioral standpoint, from a getting into things standpoint, et cetera, et cetera. In 2 years, you're going to have been able to catch that behavior enough times where you can make it such an ingrained habit that they just don't do those things.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense, yeah.
Correlating it into this situation, when I hear things like doggy door, right? Not that I have an issue with a doggy door. I'm sure that for some people, it's a very sufficient, useful thing to have the dog understand going in and out. But when I hear that, the first thing that comes into my head is, are we using this doggy door as a kind of workaround to teaching the dog to go outside, right?
Yeah.
Are we saying, oh, wow, well, my dog's having accidents in the house and I'm missing it, right? I'm missing their signs that they need to go out. So I'm just going to install a doggy door because they should just know then, well, I'll just go outside, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Anytime you make things optional like that,
Yeah.
here's what happens. In the dog's head, they have to weigh that decision every time of like our house, for example. It's not like the biggest house in the world, but it's kind of a long walk to get to certain parts of it.
Yeah.
You know? And if my dog is up here and it's a freaking, you got to go all the way down the hall and then all the way downstairs and then all the way around through the kitchen to the back door to go outside, my dog is going to debate, is this worth it for me? Do I really want to make that, do I really want to go all the way out if I could just get away with going right there and dad doesn't catch it and it's not a big deal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It starts turning into this optional debate that they have. And especially when you get into winter months or it's raining or this or that, they're just going to go in the house then at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when I'm seeing housebreaking issues, the first thing I need to do is I need to just gain control of the situation, right? That means immediately starting right now, you need to pretend you have a puppy again. And you need to, whatever you do, forget wanting to let the dog out when you're not home. You need to make sure that dog doesn't have an accident in the house for like a month, right? Or 2 months, and then 3 months, and then 4 months, and then 5 months. And here's the thing, right? If this has become a habit for the dog, regardless of why they're doing it, that they're good for a couple months, then they do it every day for a month, then they're good for a couple months, then they do it every day for a month, you may have to go back to for a year or two not having that dog loose when you're not home to redevelop that muscle of I just don't go in the house.
Yeah.
I would probably eliminate the doggy door and make sure the dog is supervised at all times so you could confirm that they're going when you take them outside.
Yeah.
Right? And then once you've developed that muscle, here's what you need to do, right? When you go to let the dog loose in the house, you can't just go from totally crated to free range of the entire house. Because if you look at the way dogs develop associations of not going to the bathroom in the house, right?
Yeah.
Or in certain areas, I should say. They don't go in places they perceive as like their den. So that's why we use a crate, right? Small crate like this, dog is in it. I don't want to go in here because I'm stuck laying with it. That's gross. They don't like that, right? So we need to figure out what's the next stepping stone that helps the dog to make that space from here to here. And then from here to here, and then from here to here, right? So maybe next step is you find a room or a kitchen or a bathroom or something like that where there's nothing that they're going to be able to grab and get into, obviously, and that they're going to perceive a larger space as their den that they're not going to go in. And then you incrementally increase that and increase that and increase that. And here's the thing. This is what people don't like to hear. It's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just going to go from having this issue like on and off all the time to it fixed in a month.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be a process of you need to just accept the fact that this dog has learned it can get away with this. Again, regardless of why they're doing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want your dog going to the bathroom in the house, you need to get some real solid consistency of the dog not having accidents. And that means going back to a crate for a while. So that's kind of the long and short answer of it.
Yeah.
You know, as far as why they're doing it because they're getting away with it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why dogs do anything. And the second you notice that issue, you know, where did it stem from? It stemmed from them getting away with it and us probably giving them that freedom too soon, too quick, right? Us trying to use other Band-Aids to solve it, like the doggy door, like getting another dog, you know, to try to eliminate separation anxiety issues.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to like be like, oh, screw you, you're doing everything wrong, because these are, you know, normal things that people will think in these types of situations.
Yeah.
But they're still the wrong solutions, right? And because we're trying to Band-Aid them with that solution, or we're unintentionally Band-Aiding them with that solution, you're not going to get past it. And you need to take a step back and realize, okay, everything we've been doing right now, it's not working.
Yep.
Push it to the side. We're starting from scratch. And again, this is why I still crate my dogs when I'm not home.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not
They're
at all.
fine in the crate. They're in crates right now downstairs.
Yeah.
They're totally fine with it. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Bender's in the crate right now.
You know? So I don't want to have to deal with that because I know how hard it is. And I know that also you get into, I personally believe some dogs are, like we were talking about genetics, some dogs are genetically more or less likely to be so curious and want to get into stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Where some will have an issue with it, some won't have an issue with it. You know? And I think that when you start getting into some of these more independent, confident, rambunctious dogs and stuff like that, those are the ones that left long enough will try to occupy their time with other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Bender's one of those.
Yeah.
He's just, mind's constantly going. He's got to
Constantly.
do something, you know?
Constantly.
So it's just such a peace of mind.
It's just like, I don't know. Everybody feels so bad about it. They're so, I don't want to crate them. Oh God, how long? You know, like, and then a lot of people, it's like, oh well, like we leave the house for 6 hours, so we have to have a dog walker come somewhere in the middle. It's like, you don't though.
Yeah.
I tell them, listen, I have these conversations. I was like, if you want to do it, go for it. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna, you know, it's your choice to make.
Yeah.
But you don't. I tell people constantly, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't. You know.
Yeah.
Go play ball with them when you get home. You know, give them some
it'll be
extra
fine.
exercise.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it ain't gonna be a problem.
And my big thing too is like normally right now I would be editing or on my computer or whatever, and Bender's just sleeping there anyway while I'm doing that. So he's literally doing the same thing that he would be doing anyway, just in a crate.
You are correct.